Okay, we are back doing another dual live reaction for BABYMETAL. This is for the song Yava. First, we're going to check out the 2017 version, and then we're going to check out the 2024 version next. Every live performance I've seen from BABYMETAL so far has been excellent. They clearly have a very high standard for themselves. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. This song was suggested by multiple people in the comment section, so shout out to these people. Before we get started, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would be great. Also, I just recently launched a Patreon. These are the main two that have been fully blocked, and I got a handful of partially blocked videos on there as well. It's only $1 a month. That was as cheap as I can make it if you guys want to check that out. I'll have that linked in the description below, and then also feel free to comment down below any other bands, artists, or live performances that you'd like to see. And let's dive into it. Really nice cinematic track. Oh yeah. Love the OG lineup. Oh, he's using that whammy bar. Very interesting intro instrumentally from what you normally hear from them. This is a more stripped back beat for sure. And then that first guitar solo also sounded very unique from what you normally hear from them. But yeah, I like that they're changing things up a little bit for this intro. And it's funny, I paused it right in the perfect spot to where you can see that sticker on his guitar says "We'll be back." That's funny. Dude, shout out to their bass player. You never hear a bassist in a metal band do anything close to that. And I'm assuming this is his 6-string bass that he normally plays with. Yeah, ridiculous. Drummer's turn. Hold on, I want to look at his cymbal setup real quick. He's got his China. Looks like he has multiple China. That might be a splash. I think that's a China. That's definitely a China. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's also a China. Does he have 3 Chinas? I can't tell on this one from the angle. It kind of looks like a China, but it might just be a crash. 11? This dude has 11 cymbals. How many crashes does he have? At least 4. 5? He might have like 5 crashes, and then I'm pretty sure this is his ride here. And he's got a couple bells. He's got 2 bells. And then I think this is his hi-hat here. Killer setup. Yeah, I'm assuming this is the chorus. This is very poppy for what you normally hear from BABYMETAL. But of course, their version of poppy is still very heavy and very fast. But this is nice. They're using a lot of grooves and melodies that you don't normally hear a lot of metal bands use. They cut down the beginning of that second verse where it's just clean guitar, bass, drums. The pace is still high, but instrumentally they dial it back a little bit there so the verse builds a little more. That was a sick... Oh, they gave us like 5 seconds of a breakdown right there and just threw it in the middle of the second verse. I love those little switch ups there. Those can add so much flavor to a song. Oh my god, dude. The guitars here, they just get really low and chunky. They throw those fast triplet breakdowns in there. They throw those bends in there, and they give you a little bit of taste of that in the second verse. Didn't realize that's what we were going into right in the bridge, but that's spectacular. We're listening to that from the beginning. And then they're doing something different here that they've done before in other songs. where it's like a variation of the chorus, but it's almost changed up enough to the point where it's just an entirely different outro section. We'll go back to the beginning of that. There was a lot of variations in that song. Even that last chorus, I think the backing track lead was doing something slightly different than it was in the previous choruses. So if you can add one little change up in there, that definitely helps with the dynamics of the structure for sure. And now for the 2024 version. With their newer lineup. I think the backing tracks have been slightly different. Maybe a little bit shorter. Oh, different solo. Unless this is the second solo from the first performance. So I could be mistaken, but I think they might have switched the orders of the solos here. Or maybe they just switched up the overall vibe of them, because the second dude's using his whammy bar a little bit, and in the first video, the first guitarist was using his whammy bar a bit more. Or maybe they're just both playing slight variations of the original solos. Oh yeah, what you got? Okay, biggest difference from their bass players right off the bat. He's using a 5-string bass. Their other bass is played with a 6-string bass. He's also using a pick, so it sounds more like a deeper guitar riff. And then the notes you're playing also sound a little bit thicker when you're playing with a pick. They're a little more distinct. When you're just plucking with your fingers, the notes get a little bit softer. But I'll be interested to see if he does the tapping section the same here. Yeah, it sounds a lot more like a guitar here. Okay, I think that was slightly different as well. Oh, bro, those blast beats. I mean, the other drummer's a beast, obviously, but this dude is ripping it. Yeah, he's doing something completely different. Oh, okay. I think the drummer even might have had a slightly more condensed solo there. But since I was short, I want to run that back one more time because he threw those blast beats in there just out of nowhere. It was so sick. Right there. Crowd loves it. Oh, okay. I want to say in the first performance, it was just one guitarist. In this performance, you can clearly hear both guitars playing with a clean tone here. Maybe that's just another way of rounding out the clean tone of that guitar a little more. Okay. And then I can't remember right away off the top of my head, But for this, the second half of that first verse, the guitarist, at least in the left ear, switched to a little bit of a chunkier tone there, and the guitarist in the right kept a clean tone the entire time. I'm pretty sure that's the same as what they did in the first performance as well. Little extra vocals in this one. Okay, so now both of the guitarists are both playing with clean tones. The guitarist in the right is playing the same thing, but the guitarist in the left is playing a slightly different lead part that's a little more basic, but it's still with a clean tone. So now you're getting an extra layer of melodies at the beginning of the second verse, as opposed to what you got in the second verse of the original performance, which was just one clean guitar, the bassist, and the drums. Both clean guitars are playing separate melodies at this point. Yeah, and then the guitarist in the left is playing some subtle, chunkier stuff there. It almost seems like they might have automated him lower in the live mix during the second half of these verses, because you can hear the clean guitar tone more prevalently in these verses, and then when they're both playing at the same time, they sound a little more even-paced. And then I'm pretty sure the backing tracks have just cut out completely for these verses here. And then this is where the chunkiness comes in. Okay. But it seems like they added extra vocals in their backing tracks to this song so far. Because the yelling back from the crowd is either they've mic'd the crowd, or they've added that in their backing tracks, or they've added that in their backing tracks and they've mic'd the crowd. But there's more layers of vocals in this performance so far, it seems like, as well. Love it. Yeah, like the haze, the chanting. That drummer. Okay, from what I could tell, it seemed like that bridge section was pretty much exactly the same. And then during the bridge, it sounded like most of that chanting was coming from the audience. But again, it's hard to tell in a live performance like this with the way everything's mixed. She stopped singing there for a minute with the mic, but you could still hear the tracks coming through. I'm wondering if she's singing over a layer of her own tracks. sick. Yeah, it's always interesting comparing live performances. With this song, as far as instrumentally, didn't really change that much. The other guitarist was doing extra stuff in the verses. There were some slight differences in their backing tracks. The intro section was very similar. All of the musicians got to do their own solos, but then they played their own variations of their solos. Yeah, with this one, I'd say maybe 90% of the overall song was the same. In the older performance, they just had their backing tracks higher up in the mix so you could really hear what was going on in the tracks. With this, it seemed like they really balanced everything. Yeah, I'd say the only thing I liked better about the older performance is just being able to hear what the backing tracks are doing more so. I just think that's interesting to be able to kind of pick out. At this point, they have everything down to a T, from their choreography, their lighting, their stage presence. So this performance was definitely top notch. I also just really liked their bass player from their original lineup. And I think I liked his solo a little bit better as well. But overall, both performances were still really good. I mean, it's Baby Metal, you know. You're going to get a top quality performance either way. Yeah, that was awesome. Slightly different song structure from what you normally hear from them too. Different drum and guitar rhythm and melodies from what you normally hear from metal bands. Again, this was a bit poppier, but also still very heavy, which is exactly what you want from Baby Metal, so this was dope. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you could like and subscribe, also go check out some of the covers that I've done on my channel, and I will see you in the next one.